and the Fat Kids. I know George Bliss is doing a game on Well as a Stream. We don't normally step on it, but seems like Bankroll has that game well in hand. And they're in the 7th inning, so we thought we'd jump in at the start here. So leading off is going to be Danny Ellert, the short center. Danny, very fast player. And there he just slaps it. Big bounce in time. So for those of you tuning in, this is Chicago-style 16-inch softball. You're seeing it correctly. No gloves. 60-foot bases. Can lead off, can't steal. 38 feet from the pitching rubber to home plate. We're playing 1-1 because we're trying to beat some rain they say might come in here around 10:30 or so. That's going to bring up Brett Potter, and he pops a foul ball out of play. Pitcher gets what we call a drag step, 1 step left, right, or back. 2 fakes or hesitation. 3rd arm action has to be to deliver the ball home. A throw or fake to a base is one of your fakes or hesitations. We use heavy bats, 38 ounces, 34 inches long, 2 1/4 on the barrel, and 612 on the arc. 305 or so foot fences. Anything that bounces under, through, or over will be a triple. So here's Brett now, and he pops the ball up, and Angelo Feliciano makes the play. So we're glad you could join us. It's been a crazy, crazy day. We were out here hanging the banners you see out there on the outfield walls in the rain this morning. Had a lot of people saying, hey, you should call it. But the fields were in good shape. And they really didn't do anything to them other than drag them in the morning before the rain started. So good complex, good surface here at Olympic Park in Schaumburg. And there's a pop-up by Kenny App, and that's over to Nick Jones, the 3rd baseman. He makes the play. Of course, Nick played on Mudville. So we're glad you joined us. The live stream is powered by Gold Rush Gaming. If you're going to put video gaming in your establishment, go with the gold standard. You can call them at 630-307-0500. You can also email them at inquiries@goldrushgaming.com. And please tell them you heard about it on the live stream and that you love the SSA. And please gamble responsibly. So this is an interesting tournament. A lot of times we always talk about how the A stuff and the B stuff never plays to chalk. And we'll see if that holds true. I think there are 4 or 5 teams capable of winning. And we thought we were going to have Thursday night, and we ended up starting this event on Friday. And to be honest with you, I think that's a great concept because we're able to go 4 diamonds, which means every single team in the tournament played tonight, and a big monster crowd all night. And of course, they'll all be back tomorrow. This is double elimination. So here's Jason Camarillo leading off for the Fat Kids. And there's a swing and a line drive caught by the short center. Danny Ellert got down underneath that and made sure. One other thing I'd like to mention is this is not a mush ball. It's a 16-inch clincher, comes out of the box pretty firm. Some might say hard. It'll maintain its consistency. And here's Tom Boyle, and Boyle just continues to hit. We highlighted him a little bit earlier as a part of the Chicago Summer Series. He dropped out of the top 5 because he didn't have enough at-bats. He was a couple short. And if you didn't get a chance, check out the Midsummer Classic wrap-up and Class A preview show. Me and Jerry Brown, you can stroll down, and we put up the leaders for that Summer Series event, which is rooted in the open or major level. And that's been a lot of fun. So here's Anthony Misek, and Note's trying to go down the right field line. And I've commented in the past, I think Note is a real good hitter when he concentrates on hitting the ball toward right center. He doesn't have the fastest hips. And we're hoping to get these last 9:30 games in. So I heard a little rumbling going on in the background. So I like the idea of starting a tournament on Friday. And there's a line drive as he goes up the center of the field. Boyle will stop at third. Anthony Misek, base hit, runners on the corner. And the Fat Kids look good, beating 40 Deuce. I think so far tonight, the team that's really been impressive up to now has been the Dirty 38s. They were all business tonight. Here's Matt Peckus, and Matt drives it into right field. Run scores. Noach is going to hustle into third. High throw off the screen. That allows Peckus to get to third. So Fat Kids an early 1-0 lead here. And Anthony Misek got to third there because he had a great read on that ball. Fell a couple of feet in front of the snapper right fielder. Brings up Alberto Magana. They call him Chulo. And the Snappers a couple of years ago, they played in this Class A National Championship tournament, and they were, if I'm not mistaken, in the championship game. And there's a high, long fly ball. That's going to score Misek. Peckus isn't going to risk it. He's going to make sure Noach scores. Fat Kids 2-0. So that's what you would call a productive out. And here comes Nico Rainier for the Fat Kids. So for all of you managers and fans that are watching the broadcast tonight, we want to give you a heads up. We're supposed to get some rain overnight. Diving stop, knocked down by the shortstop. Couldn't make the play. Matt Nadler. Looks like he might have landed hard. He looks like he's okay. Temporarily saves a run. And that's going to bring up Brandon Molina, the center fielder. And that pitch a little deep. So I had 4 or 5 people during the day. Never really rained hard when we were putting up the banners. We got some sprinkles. And there's a long fly ball into the gap. Center fielder got there, couldn't make the catch. 1 run is in. Here comes the second run, and Molina will end up standing on third. So big 2-out hit for Brandon Molina. He drives in a pair, and the Fat Kids have jumped up 4-0. So they were wondering what was going on. But after about 11 o'clock, it really didn't rain. It was just a little on and off spit drizzle. Ground ball to Nadler. High throw. And that gets away. Does drive in Molina with the 5th run. So that's an example where Nadler had all kinds of time. Just airmailed it. And here's the third baseman, Nick Jones. And Nick rakes a hit into right field as he walks the dog down that line, and it's runners on the corner. Just kind of eavesdropping on the Fat Kid pregame huddle. Joel Schuster is going to come out and try to slow the game down. This guy leaning up against the fence post has been the longtime starting pitcher for the Snappers, and sometimes guys try to sneak a bat in the lineup. But at the end of the day, you still gotta play defense. So Fat Kid's just trying to get an out here. Brings up the pitcher, Angelo Feliciano, and he's been known to come this way, but he cuts it up the middle and he takes him right to the bag. A little hugging going on there. Oh, I don't see Jimmy Deschamps is playing third base, and he'll be leading off this inning, Mallory. Steve Barbazos and Robbie Schwieger. Hold on, folks. I'll be right back. Sorry, folks, a little administrative stuff going on. So Jimmy Deschamps flies out to start this top of the second. And here comes the right fielder, Steve. And there's a little pop-up in no man's land. And that's a nice job by Angelo. He wasn't sure he was going to get to it. First baseman, Noach couldn't get there. Alberto playing deep at second had no chance. And Angelo kind of surrounded that ball. He saw it had a lot of spin on it, and he made the catch. And here's Robbie Schwieger. So before we took the break, we were talking about how sometimes teams will try to sneak a bat in the lineup. And Robbie Schwieger, and climbing the ladder, making the catch, is Jason Camarillo. So at the end of an inning and a half, Fat Kids lead 5-0. So 30-38s have looked very good as they won their 2 games impressively. Oboes beat Born Divine. I was talking to Tim Powell, because on the show yesterday, the preview show, Jerry Brown, the manager of Oboes, was laying it on pretty thick, praising Born Divine. I said, he's trying to set you up. And Tim was laughing. He said, I think so. And the Oboes won the ballgame. They're playing right now, trying to go clean through these first 2 games. Again, with the 24-team tournament, you got 8 buys. So you got 8 games. And there's a swing and a drive. And Mike Cruz is going to hustle and just beats the throw for a leadoff double. Mike Cruz, the first baseman. I'm sorry, Doc, did I miss a question?
5-0. Yeah.
Well, I got to be honest with you. They got a young team, Doc. And there's a little flare, and that ball gets thrown in. And they have not exactly been tearing it up, and they have yet to ever win an SSA tournament. And again, they've come in as favorites several times. Here's Tom Boyle. Runners on the corner now. And Boyle launches one. High fly ball, and the center fielder dropped another fly ball. 1 run is in. Camarillo will get to third. 6-0. So that's a couple of fly balls. The young center fielder got to both of them but couldn't hold on. And it brings up Anthony Mysak. And there's a hard one. Hopper just fouled down the line. And it's always tough to evaluate who's A, who's major. And we've had 3 events, and Fat Kids, to be honest, have been struggling all year. And of course, in every tournament, you're going to have a handful of favorites. So here's Mysek. And he does go to right center, and that ball is carrying, and the center fielder got there with the dive, couldn't make the catch. 2 more runs are going to score. And the Fat Kids, who hit the ball very good in their first game against 40 Deuce, still pounding the ball.
Yeah, that's a big shot right there.
So when you look at the field, if you had to handicap it, I think Fat Kids, Dirty 38s, Goodwood, Sauce, they're all very competitive and close. 10 Deep won their first game, but then, because Matt Peckus beats that out, Jimmy Deschamps looked like he got handcuffed on the play. So it'll be an interesting weekend. It's funny, it was cool and damp all day. The sun did come out here. And here's Alberto, and he gets a base hit. Noche is going to turn and burn, and he'll score. And the Fat Kids right now making it look real easy. And should this game either get out of hand or finish early, we'll take a stroll around the park. And I may have made a mistake on the tournament bracket. Los Borrachos did win their game, and I think I might have incorrectly entered it on the live bracket. And so we'll get that corrected. So if you're a Los Borracho fan, Steve-O Rodriguez, don't worry. We'll get it corrected. So they're going to make the change, 9-0. And coming into pitch is Brian Sears. And Brian, I remember in 02 playing the Snappers in Bourbonnais in a Class A tournament, early Saturday game. I think it was like 2 o'clock. When we had Mudville, we were fortunate enough to win that event. And I remember running into Brian Friday night at a bar, and he said, take it easy on us tomorrow. We did win the game, but it was a good ball game. So he's been around the block, as we say. And here comes Nico Rainier, with Brandon Molina on deck. And there's a high, long fly ball. It's going to be foul. Gave that a good ride, but pulled it way foul. So like I said, we'll stay here for watch Snappers bat in the third, and maybe we'll take a walk around the diamond. And now we got fans chiming in about Major League Baseball. Well, I can't blame counsel. And there's a rocket. That's trouble. Long run. Left fielder got a hand on it.
Hold on, Nico, hold on.
Peckus is going to score. Alberto is going to, they're going to hold him.
No out, no out.
No outs. 10-0 here, bottom of the second. And the Fat Kids have come out firing on all cylinders tonight. And that pitch is a little deep. Well, can't really blame counsel too much. The back end of the Cub bullpen has been god-awful. And there's a swing and another base hit. And 2 more runs are going to score on the double by Molina. So 12-0 here in the bottom of the second. 12. So we're going to close out this inning, folks, and we'll take a walk around the complex. Very big crowd today. Everybody, I love these A teams because I think we did a good job of giving them information throughout the day. We gave them a 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock update about the weather conditions. And there's a little chopper to second. Robbie Schwieger makes the play. That's out number 1. And it was very interesting because the feedback from a lot of these A teams, they really wanted to get out here and play, was all like fantastic, thumbs up. And this is, you know, Schaumburg is, especially for the teams that are south and west, is not an easy ride. And Eller will make that play, but the 13th run scores. And, you know, a lot of these kids are young, and, you know, talking to some of the guys from Dice, 10 Deep, you know, Born Divine, Oboes, you know, and then, of course, the other teams that came out early, Steady Drizzle, and some of the younger teams that jumped in to try their hand at it. They were all so excited to be able to come and play in the event. And Danny Ellert started out as an outfielder, turned into a pretty good infielder. So at the end of 2, 13-0, and we're going to take a stroll around the complex. And we'll check back here in a little bit. We'll come over here to the money line. I keep calling them money line. It's bankroll. And they are playing Hardway. Of course, George Bliss showed bankroll. Now a runner fell down. And they tag him for the out. Tommy Lentin call. I think in the rundown, the guy dropped the ball. So we'll check this out a little bit, and we'll see how it's going. I'll try to get a score. Hold on, folks. So this is 2-2 in the 2. Don't have a lineup card for either team.
Come on, Al, stay hot, good.
So Hardway has got a lot of nice players. This is the team that Jeff Mastari is playing with the 45s, off to a terrific start in his major career. And they're 2-2 in the 2. So disregard the scoreboard. And bankroll is an interesting mix. They've got some guys that are in their 50s, and Pellegrino, if he's here, and there's a little ground ball. Shortstop can't make the play. So they got some older veteran guys on this team, but they also got some young pups. And Matty Dozen runs this because his stepson, Luke Thorpe, plays on this team. Luke played on Mudville, as did Matty, and here's Marty Dozen, who's in the Hall of Fame. You're all babies. I'm 62. And so they play up in Itasca basically once a week, I believe. And Marty Dozen swings and he goes down the line, and that ball, foul ball. So the one thing about Hardaway, they're run by Jimmy DeVito, and Jimmy is a very high energy guy. And Coco's over there helping him out. And they got some nice looking young players on this team. I think Jimmy's also got 2 of his sons on the team. So Marty just missed that line. He takes that deep for ball 4. So here comes Messi. Miseradendo, I think is his name. On deck, it looks like Dave Winslow. I do know a lot of these bankroll guys. He flies out, the runner tags, throw way offline. Runner at first can't go anywhere. It's a good job. The throw was offline, but he hit the cutoff man. And Marty, in his 50s now, I believe. Here's Dave Winslow. So we will take a walk around the complex. We'll show you a few more innings, maybe a full inning, and see Hardway hit. Try to give you a taste for what's going on here at the 2024 Tom Egg Czarnik Class A No Glove National Championship. And I think they might have just saw some lights go on field 4. Not sure why they turned them on. That's the one diamond we're not using. Of course, the home plate umpire is Tommy Lentine, who runs the March team. March currently number 7 in the team standings. And there's a little ground ball that's going to score a run to break the tie as Bankroll takes a 3-2 lead. Wasn't hit hard enough for a double play. Speaking of Matt Dozan, that's his better half on the left. And it's not even close. And of course, you know these two characters. JP cracking me up. He's got a shirt on that says eye candy. I told him that's an oxymoron. It's like jumbo shrimp. The fences here are, I think it's 300 down the lines and 305 to dead center field. You got to be a man to hit it out here. Little bobble. Winslow almost overran the bag, but he got back. And that brings up Mike Andrews. Had the pleasure of coaching Mike. Mike's just a very upbeat, positive dude. So Bankroll leading here in the second inning. And we will try to, we might lead this game and come back and just show you a couple other teams playing tonight. And Mike pounds it on the ground. Shortstop can't make the play. 1 run is in. And they're going to hold Bobby Monroe at third. Of course, Bobby was also a guy who played for me. Bobby once walked like 13 or 14 times on a Sunday, and there's another base hit. Andrews is steaming into third. So Bankroll's exploded here. In the second, it was 2-2. And I think when you talk about potential favorites, certainly Bankroll is in that category. And they got a nice acquisition here. They picked up Jake Zeman, who was not on an SSA roster. Gives them a little bit of a veteran pitcher. And there's a swing and a line drive. So Bankroll is opening up here in this inning, aided by a couple of infield errors, and they're taking full advantage. It brings up Russ DeLude. So we'll take a walk around the complex. Again, we are in the last set of games. The way the day started, we were worried we weren't going to get anything in, and it turned out to be pretty pleasant now. And Russ pounds a hit. And they'll get it in. Russ DeLude, RBI single. Of course, we saw Rusty play with Vision Rewind for a lot of years.
Same ball. Same ball all night, kid.
And here's Luke Thorpe. So I know Bankroll won big in their first game tonight, that George Bliss broadcast. And with this inning, they're rolling up some more runs, very opportunistic. So we'll hang here through the end of this inning, bonus coverage, and we'll go and see what's happening on the other two diamonds. So now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Jake Zeman in a good position to help himself. And Hardway's got some nice players. They're trying to play in more events. And sometimes when you get into this environment the first time, they did play out in Carroll Stream, but when you lose a guy like Jeff Mastari, who's shown you he's a legit major guy, that always kind of sets your program back a little bit. And Jake Zeman takes that pitch a little low. So the runners will be going here. 2 outs. And there they go. And Jake Zeman, line drive, caught by the shortstop. Great play. And we're going to take a walk around. Maddie, what'd you get there? 5. So all of a sudden 7-2 in this ball game. And this is a big sprawling concourse they got here. So we're going to take a walk and see what's going on the back 2 sides. So we're trying to give you a flavor of the event. And here's the Brain Trust. Tyler, Caputo, Matriciano. Combined age, 382. So we'll go and see what's happening over on this side. People are hanging out here. So this looks like Sauce and the West Side Outlaws. So we'll get a score here. Show you a little bit of these two teams. And there's the playmakers. They're waiting to play, I believe. I don't think they played yet. No, they can't, because this should be the 9:30 game. What's the score?
4-1.
You guys or them? So West Side Outlaws leading Sauce 4-1. Brian Sloan. And the West Side Outlaws are a little deceptive. They got some good players on this team, including Darrell and Travell. I think the big issue that they've had was just attendance. So we'll see how they do here. Again, no lineup cards, so we'll do the best we can. And Sauce is another one of those teams. They upgraded this year. They haven't all settled in quite yet. even though we're deep into the season, they have lost a couple of really tough ball games in tournaments. And there's an overhand base hit. Leadoff man on for Westside Outlaws, leading 4-1 in this ball game against Sauce. So no outs here. Leadoff man on. Jockeying a little bit here. So we'll have a lot of softball for you this weekend. That pitch is called high. And there's a swing and a pop-up. Tough play. Long run for the second baseman, and he makes the catch. That's a nice play by the second baseman. It's always tough when you're an infielder and you got to run back and you got that little lip. Most of these infields will slope down, so once you get to the grass, due to drainage. And there's a swing, and that ball's into the alley. Can't cut it off. It's going to roll. Center fielder, a slide. One run is in. And they can't handle the cutoff. 2-run home run. 6-1 Westside Outlaws. Again, that's a perfect example. He didn't go over the top. He just hit it hard to a gap. Didn't roll to the fence. Center fielder had a slide to try to stop it. Throw in was good, but the relay man fumbled it. And Westside Outlaws jump up 6-0 or 6-1. And there's an attempted overhand cut. And of course, Manuel runs the Westside Outlaws, a terrific guy. Was very frustrated at the north-south because he had trouble getting guys up there. A little ground ball knocked down by Brian Sloan, and that is going to be an out. So Westside Outlaws have come out swinging the bats. So we got some teams starting to open up some leads here, of course. And there's a little ground ball, little fumble, but he recovers for the third out. But the Westside Outlaws put a couple out, courtesy of the 2-run homer. So
let's go. Drop this vessel. Now one swing is going to win the game. Let's go.
The Outlaws have a scorekeeper with a very unique look. See if I can get her on camera. She turns around. She's got hair that goes past her waist. You don't see that very often. So Sauce a little work to do here. I'm not quite sure what inning it is, but they trail 6-1. One more game going on. We'll take a walk over there. There's a spinner foul. And you know, a lot of times Sauce does play in a lot of the events, just about all of them. And then you run into a team like the Westside Outlaws, and you haven't played them or seen them, and it does take a little time. Little ground ball handled, pitch and catch. And so the first couple of at-bats for the Westside Outlaw guys, it's like stealing when the other guy doesn't know you. So there's always a little cat and mouse at the beginning of a ball game where you try to figure out what guys do. If we didn't know you, we used to pitch up in the air to see what your approach was and whether you could cut it or not. And we'd bring the outfield in and we'd say, here, cut it. because it would only be a single. And then once we figured out could you cut or not, then our pitcher would make the adjustment. If he was a cutter, he'd throw him a little flatter. If he's a guy that looked like he had a drive swing, we'd stay up there. Here's Andrew Doss, caught by the left fielder. So Westside Outlaws get a 1-2-3 inning. They lead 6-1. Huh?
Angelo, perfect game. 15 up, 15 down.
So Tom Boyle just told me Angelo Feliciano, Fat Kids won 15-0 over there was the final, and he pitched a perfect game, 15 up, 15 down. Of course, we have the mercy rule. So we're going to take a walk. Westside Outlaws leading. Fat Kid game is over, and Bankroll was up 7-2 against Hardway. So I believe this is the Oboes. I'm not sure who the Oboes are playing here. As we get a little closer, we'll be able to tell you. Actually, this looks like Born Divine. I thought somebody told me Oboes won. That might be Oboes. They might have different colors on tonight. Good. What's the score?
Got about 18, man.
Huh?
About 18, I believe.
You guys?
18-0.
Okay. So 18-0. Grave Diggers. They play out of Westchester in the House League. And they're winning 18-0 over Oboes. And I got thrown for a loop because Oboes normally have maroon. Today they're wearing purple. And there's my guy who makes, this guy feeds me when I go to Loyola games. Because he works in the student cafeteria. And there's a ball right down the line. So down big, he's going to come back. So we'll go back to the Westside Outlaws. We'll just show you a little bit of this ball game. And the Grave Diggers, you heard it from their player. Remember the name, he said. And there's a little ground ball up the middle. A little confusion there. Shortstop and the short center a little too close to each other. I don't know if the shortstop was going to catch it and run to the bag, but the short center was there and he ended up fumbling it. So we're giving you a little cornucopia here. Late night at the 2024 SSA Tom Egg Czarnik Class A No Glove National Championship Tournament. And again, we do have
14-0, Angelo pitched from here.
I know. They're trying to give me the Angelo Feliciano perfect game. And again, Jerry Brown, my broadcast partner on our summer series shows, runs the Oboes, used to run Solutions, little flare, and that drops. And they got a shot at third, but he overthrows it. Bases loaded, nobody out here. So the hitter said he'll take it any way he can get it. And it is a line drive in the book. So, of course, Jerry Brown, like I said, ran Solutions. And he's got a very young team now. Little ground ball, and that gets through. So one run scores. Here comes the second run. And so they put a pair up here. This continues. The Oboes may not let me leave the field. And there's a sky-high pop-up infield fly rule. So that'll be an out, of course. So we got a lot of stuff going on this weekend. It's going to be a fantastic finish. Now, a lot of times you get B teams that play up in these events. And the Oboes would be classified as a B team. And the Gravediggers haven't really seen them. We know they play in Westchester. And there's a little ground ball. They're going to pitch to second for the fielder's choice. And now you got runners on the corner here with 2 outs. And so that's the reason why you put your team in these events. You want to force feed them some experience, let them get a taste of it. And then as a coach, you can talk about what you need to work on. Because sometimes if you're just playing B teams or in your park district, you will get into bad habits at times. Because you'll hit balls that don't get caught and you think you're really swinging it. And then when you move up a level, all of a sudden you've got guys running over and catching those balls. And there's a little ground ball up the middle. Another run scores. Strong throw. So the Oboes may be down big, but they're not giving up here. And we're going to double back to that West Side Outlaw Sauce game. Outlaws were up 6-1 when we left. And I'm sure Jerry's probably glad to see his team still got a little fight in them. And these are 2 teams that have never played each other before. And like I said, when you don't know the other guy sometimes, now the bases are loaded. So Obo's putting together an inning here. And there's an overhand cut. 2 more runs are going to score. Now it's down the line. Here comes the 3rd guy. Bases clearing double. I'm not sure what they've totaled up here, but they got 6, maybe 7 this inning. So Obo's not giving up here. So here's Leo, and he goes overhand, and that'll be the 3rd out. But the Oboes put up a few runs. And not sure that is the ball game. Apparently they were in the 5th. So Gravediggers, impressive first game of the tournament. So it had to be about 18-6 or 18-7. And we'll come back here and we'll show you a little bit of this West Side Outlaw sauce. Or is it sauce? So we're going to try to slide past.
Thank you. Come on, Dad.
What's the score?
6-3, top 7.
6-3, top of the 7.
I mean, top 6.
Huh? Top 6. Now they're all worried I'm going to jinx them. So Sauce has punched back a little bit. We're in the top of the 6 here, 6-3. Well, Bankroll was up 7-2 when I left there, Robbie. Angelo Feliciano a perfect game as they beat up the snappers. And that's a long fly ball caught. Runner's going to try to go to third. No play. So he hit it far enough. He gets 2 bases, and he was moving. So West Side Outlaws here in the top of the 6th. And there's a little fly ball. That could be trouble. Long run. Can't make the catch. Another run's going to score. 7-3 Outlaws.
Way to go, Rex. Way to go, dog. Stay hot, bro. Stay hot, bro. Yo, wake up. Slow down. Hey, wake up. Slow down. Stay hot, bro. Stay hot, bro.
So 7-3 right now. We're in the top of the 6th. West Side Outlaws. And there's a pop-up out of play. And again, when you look at Sauce, they have good players. But they just haven't been able to put it together so far this summer, and that happens sometimes. I don't know if there's anybody in the park that can give us an update on the bankroll game. And there's a little swing. He taps it foul. And that'll be a strikeout as he had 2 strikes. So 2 outs, runner on. Good speed at first. Any kind of a stretch single could make this 8-3 ball game. And there's a little flip into center in front of the center fielder, Oliver. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Oliver. Well, it might be. He's wearing a hat, so I can't tell.
Let's go, y'all.
So 7-3 here. Top of the 6th. They try a pickoff. No good.
Good, babe. You good. Let's go, KK. Stay hot.
So here's KK.
Keep killing, KK. 2 strikes here.
I think the last time I remember KK when he was playing for Team 23. And that was a good softball team, that Team 23. Charlie Talbert, Kelly Patton running that team, which was the remnants of Steel Gold. And there's a line drive. Another run scores. 8-3. And West Side Outlaws all business here. They're hitting the ball, running the bases. 8-3, West Side Outlaws. Actually, it could be 9-3 right now. With 6-3 coming in. I believe they've scored 3 this inning. So here's a pinch hitter. And you heard Jerry Brown yesterday on the show talking about the fact that the West Side Outlaws had a couple of pretty good players on this team. And sometimes we don't get to see some of these teams as much as we'd like to, but and there's a little flare knocked down by the shortstop, and he can't get him at first. So Okray, the shortstop, couldn't catch the line drive. Ball got tangled up in his feet, and he couldn't make the play. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs. They put in a pinch runner. He'll be flying on the swing.
Find one of them gaps, JT.
Of course, a lot of stuff coming up in July. We'll be out at the Nicky Lopez charity softball game that Nicky is running as a fundraiser, along with the Chicago White Sox are involved. And there's a line drive caught by Okray. I didn't see his sister Carly. Oh, there she is up the line. Carly, of course, a terrific 14-inch mushball player. Co-ed. So they got two apparently. It's 8-6. I think if you're Sauce, it could have been worse as we head to the bottom of the sixth. And Sauce has got some good hitters, so I would assume the West Side Outlaws have been catching the ball tonight. Sean on the hill. He helps Manuel, who runs the team. And there's a swing and a base hit. So bottom of the sixth here. Leadoff single for Sauce. A lot of people still in the park mulling around on a Friday night. Well, we'll try to track Angelo Feliciano down. Fat kids usually hang out a little bit after their ball games. And there's a little flip shot. KK is there. I believe that's KK. And he makes the catch. So one out. So if any of you fat kids are watching on the stream, tell Angelo to stick around. And we'll do a little live interview with him.
He's on top with no surprise.
So after we do the Nicky Lopez event, the next day is Papa Hops. I encourage all of you to tune in when we're at Papa Hops, because the softball is really intense. And there's a roller up the middle. Big man's going to get to third, throw to second in time. So Sauce, trailing 8-3 now with one out. They got runners on second and third. Brings up Andrew Dawes. The championship game there is crazy. They get like 5,000-6,000 people in the park, and they put their chairs ringing the field, and it's an absolute madhouse. 32 teams. They use 3 parks, and they whittle it all down to Kennedy. And there's a flip down the line. That's going to be way foul. And again, it's a fundraiser for the Tom Hopkins Foundation. And his kids jumped in and created the foundation in the tournament. And it's one of the funnest events you'll ever see. The community down there near Kennedy Park, which is a stone's throw from Morgan Park High School and Mount Greenwood, comes out en masse, and it's just one big, it's more of a festival almost. And they've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. Usually they pick a family or two to help who's got cancer. So here's Doss, and he tries to cut, and he gets it. One run's going to score, and makes it 8-4, I believe. Here comes Okray, the shortstop. And then, of course, that's the same weekend of the SSA Class B National Championship Tournament, which is always a lot of fun. Some of the teams that are playing here will be in that event. And that ball's outside. couple of more hits here, and this game's really going to tighten up. This is the last game going on tonight. And Oak Creek pounds a hit, 8-5. Doss will stop at second. And Sauce ain't giving up the ghost yet. Or as a friend of mine used to call Sauce, Sauce. Now they're going to run for Doss, knowing that they've gotten it to 8-5. They want to try to squeeze out every run they can. And here's Tommy Cortlet. Brian Sloan on deck. One out here. First and second. Sauce trying to come back from the dead. Little ground ball up the middle, and it skips past. Another run scores, 8-6. Tommy Cortlet hit a little ground ball up the middle. Short center had a little issue. He had a runner going by, and he was a little worried about the bag. And the ball kind of skipped and went right through his legs, Travell Rivers. So Manuel's going to come out and just slow things down. And there you can see the scorekeeper. And that really is a stunning look with that long hair. So rumors of Sauce's demise greatly exaggerated, as they've got it down to a 2-run ball game, I believe, here. Again, we're in the bottom of the 6th, so we'll see if we get a fantastic finish. Brian Sloan. And Brian flares it out of play, and he hit a Sauce fan. I see your sisters down there as usual. Always. It's nice to see siblings supporting each other. So Brian Sloan flares it. He's got 2 strikes now. Must keep the ball fair. Takes that pitch a little deep.
Let's go, Duke.
And there's a swing off of the pitcher into no man's land. 8-7. Runners on the corner. Hit a bullet up the middle. Deflected it. 8-7. Tying run at third. And there's the man of the hour over there, Angelo Feliciano. We're going to line him up after this ball game. So here's Donnie. Sauce tying run 60 feet away, 8-7. And there's a strike. And we got a couple of raindrops, so gonna hope we get this one in. Yeah, one of my friends Amalia used to call him Sauce. I think in the Dome we had Brian Sloan who explained, and there's a base hit. We're all tied at 8. So Sauce now, a lot of life and jump all of a sudden. As the rain starts to come down now a little bit more. And again, and they're going to make the change. Again, we fighting raindrops all day, 10:38, right about the time they said there might be some more rain. We suspended the normal rules in regard to rain in this tournament. All games will be finished. So if it started to downpour here, they would have to finish this game Saturday, right at the top of the schedule. Trying to cover my camera a little bit. You could say it's getting downright spicy. Because I believe we're tied at 8 now. And there's a line drive. Another hit down the line. He walks the dog. 2 runs are going to score. He's going to hustle into third, and they're going to hold him. If I'm not mistaken, Sauce has taken a 10-8 lead now. As we are in the top of the 6th, and the rains are starting to come. And here's Mike Oliver. As this has just turned into an absolute nightmare for the West Side Outlaws. And again, they are getting their feet wet, and there's a high fly ball. That's going to score, and he dropped the fly ball. And Mikey Oliver hustles into second. Let's get an update on the score. Coach, what do you got for a score? 11-8. So Sauce came in, and there's an out at third. So 11-8. They came in down. 11-3. They've spun the lineup. They put up an 8 spot, and that's, I like Mike Oliver. He's got a high motor, but that ball was hit in front of him. And as I harp about on the stream, kids, if you're on second, you don't go when the ball is hit in front of you. So if you're at second base and the ball's hit to your right side of your body, you don't go. Make that guy throw it across, and that was a little chopper. Might have been a tough throw on the run. If it's to your left side, then you can go. So Sauce, after trailing the entire ball game, has kind of come right back. And there's a ground ball. He can't beat the runner, and they get him at first. So 11-8. I think we're in the top of the 7th now.
5 runs right now. Let's go.
11-8 here. So Sauce, we've been waiting for them to kind of break out. Maybe this is the game that's going to get them going. Give them a little confidence, because they're certainly capable of beating any of the 8 teams in this field. So bottom, I want to say this might be the bottom of the 6th, and there's a leadoff hit. So West Side Outlaws put their leadoff man on. And what was a relatively low-scoring, quiet game is suddenly exploding. And here's Teddy. Teddy, a sneaky hitter. He can cut and push. Back in the day, he'd go big on you every once in a while if you took too many liberties. And there's a flare. Okray can't get there. And nothing frustrates a shortstop more than when you see the cut, you're on a dead sprint, and it's just out of reach. So 11-8, I believe. The guy that matters if you're Sauce is the guy in the box. So West Side Outlaws come right back. And of course, Teddy, a veteran guy, and he's got some wear and tear on him, but he looks pretty good. Now the rain has kind of stopped. It's what it's been doing to us all day out here. And there's a flare, and it just fouled by 1.5 feet. So if you do come out to the park, make sure you take a look at the banners out here. Make a mental note and try to support the people that support softball. The live stream, of course, as you all know, is powered by Gold Rush Gaming. But we also got Sweet Buzz, one of our Chicago Summer Series anchors, and all of these people that buy banners contribute to what you see. So here's the reset. 2 on, nobody out here. Brian Sloan trying to get him to bite on a high pitch, a little deep for that height. And those of you not familiar with 16-inch softball, it's 6'12". Higher you throw it, the closer to the point it's got to. And there's a ball hit, but right at the left fielder, and the runner gets back for the first out of the inning. So he tried to turn and burn. The outfield was playing deep. And here's Travell Rivers. Talking to Travell, and he said he just got a brutal work schedule. Same thing with his cousin Daryl. They were both on pretty good-looking young team. They actually played in a Class A SSA National Championship tournament, and that ball is going to fade. And it was a shame they couldn't keep that team together. If I'm not mistaken, that year, Wes Shannon was on that team. Of course, Wes, the current batting leader in the Chicago Summer Series. And go check out that Summer Series show, because the statistic leaders are incredible. Some younger players sneaking in there. The game is, in the future of the game, we got some young studs playing it now. And the guy making a lot of noise, Danny Marston. And Travell takes a little something off, and he drops a hit. And they're going to score 1 run. Travell bobbled it all the way. I don't know if he recovered. The umpire thought he did. They get Travell at second. 2-run score, 11-10. I think the short center might have caught a break there. He was bobbling it. He was in the process of trying to make a tag, and he may have caught and trapped the ball right on Travell's cleat or ankle or foot. Meanwhile, it's a 1-run game, and here's Daryl. 11-10, I believe. It was a terrific throw. Had the short center caught it clean, there would have been no controversy about it. And there's a little cut. But now, with 2 strikes, as we're playing 1-1, an outfielder might change his perspective. Huh? He did bobble it. I don't know if he recovered it or not. I think I got it on tape. That's Bay. This guy should be in the Hall of Fame. I actually pushed Bay to put an application in. I'm not quite sure what happened to it. So here's Daryl. They're down to their last out here, I believe, in a 1-run ball game. And Daryl keeps the game alive with a bullet base hit. I don't know if they got anybody on the bench to run. The advantage here is Daryl will be running with 2 outs. So on a stretch single, and he's being aggressive with his secondary. Now he's got to be careful. Brian Sloan has already tried to pick somebody off, and YTD, where Andrew Doss played, they were notorious They had a little pitcher. They tried to. Andrew Doss tried the hidden ball trick there, but Darrell was standing on the bag. Of course, I think technically Brian Sloan can't be in contact with the rubber there. And there a little hesitation, and it just gets over Okray. Now Darrell's going to hustle into third. Okray tried to climb the ladder. He might have just mistimed it. He got in the air and he was kicking his legs, trying to hang like Mike. Didn't work out. Base hitter, I believe, is going to tie the game at 11. 2 outs. Looks like this kid can run a little bit. A lot of pressure on your infield, and he smokes it. Just foul. The ball bounced in fair territory, landed in foul. The question is whether the umpire thought it went over the base or not. That would have tied the game for sure. And the young man, number 20 at first, was already at third by the time everybody found out it was foul. So this has turned into one of the better games of the night. Of course, Traffic lost a heartbreaker. They were winning most of the game and they got walked off. I think at one point they were up 8-3, somebody told me. So reset. And there's a little chopper. Okray, long throw in time. And Sauce hangs on. They win the game 11-10. So we're going to go and see if we can track down the man of the moment, Angelo Feliciano. Perfect game as the Fat Kids beat the Snappers tonight. 15 up, 15 down. So we'll see if Angie is still here when it started to rain. There he is. So we'll get a little interview with him. He's walking toward us. I'm an old man, so when somebody meets me halfway, I appreciate it. And there he is, the man of the moment. 15 up, 15 down, man. How'd that feel?
Wish I would say I knew about it. Didn't know till the game was over.
Were they ignoring you in the dugout?
I'm not gonna say they were ignoring me. They were more worried about the score. So I was trying to tell them, don't worry about the score. Let's just play the game. I guess there was a reason behind that.
Well, there you go. And I see what they all signed the ball for you.
Perfect game. Didn't even know. They had great defense behind me. Fat Jason making plays. You know, so couldn't have done this without my team.
So when you get into a groove like that, I never pitched. But when you get in there, did you just feel like you knew where the ball was going to go and you just, you know, got into some kind of a rhythm zone?
I'm not going to say I knew where the ball was going, but I know I had defense behind me, so I just wanted to throw the ball, let them hit the ball, and have my team make the plays behind me.
Well, you guys were all business tonight. You looked great in both of your games, and I heard notes saying in the huddle before the second game, the first game doesn't mean anything if we lose this one.
Exactly. We got to stay together, play one game at a time, you know, play fat kid softball and take care of business.
There you go, Angelo Feliciano. Congratulations. Perfect game. 15 up, 15 down. All right, good luck the rest of the way, Angie. So there you go. Showed you thrilling finish. Interviewed the perfect game pitcher. So on behalf of SSA Broadcast, George Bliss, Gold Rush Gaming, can see still a lot of people here hanging out. We will catch you later. A lot of softball this weekend. Follow our page.